It's no secret that Nebraska has a bunch of injuries on this team going into the fall, but over the past couple weeks, there has been growing concern that one of the Huskers' brightest young stars, Carter Nelson, will be sidelined the entire season. So in today's video, I'm going to give you this jam-packed injury update. What's been going on with him and his rehab? Will he play this year? If he does, how much, and everything else you need to know. And then I'm going to go over a couple other injured Cornhuskers, an injured player who's going to play a lot more than you expect, a guy who's behind on his rehab and might redshirt, and so much more. So really quick, loaded video talking specifically about the injury report. Please hit that like button if you're fired up. And really quick, if you support the channel, we post daily Husker football content. Join this family of over 10,000 strong. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much. But without further ado, let's get into it, talking specifically about Nebraska's injuries going into this season. And I want to get things started with the hot topic over the past couple weeks. This, of course, is second-year tight end, big-time recruit Carter Nelson. Now, of course, Carter Nelson played in almost every single game as a true freshman. He was dynamic not only at tight end, but also at wide receiver. And for that reason, there are a lot of expectations for him going into this year that he's going to break out to be one of the better tight ends in all of the Big Ten. However, he is rehabbing from a hip injury. He had a surgery at the very beginning of January on bone spurs in his hip, and for that reason, he has been sidelined ever since then. He did not compete at all during spring ball. He really has not been in the weight room, and there has been a lot of concern over the past couple weeks that he might not play at all this season. And Nebraska might say, oh, we're going to redshirt you and see you in 2026. So what's been going on there? Is he actually going to play? Well, right off the bat, hip injuries are no joke, right? A lot of hip injuries in the past have completely ruined careers, have sent guys into retirement, have sent guys, out of the league for a year, 2 years, whether that's in college football, whether that's in the NFL. So hip injury is probably the worst one a tight end can have, but it's not as serious as some of these other injuries. Again, it was only bone spurs. It wasn't the entire hip. So for that reason, right now, a lot of doctors, a lot of people close to the situation in Nebraska say that it's going to be 6 to 7 months of recovery time. It should be noted, again, he had that surgery in January. It looks like if he's on schedule, he will be back at the end of fall camp for Nebraska, if not going into the season. And even if that happens, that's only if he's on schedule. If he's not on schedule, which is very possible with these hip injuries, they like to linger around, he won't be back until midway across the year, and at that point, he's likely going to be redshirted. So what I think is going to happen with Carter Nelson, unfortunately, is I do believe he will be redshirted for Nebraska, because it's one of those things where, okay, let's just say everything works out, and it's a 6-month recovery time, and he's back by the middle of fall ball. Even if that happens, he's been out for 6 months, right? It's going to take time to get back to the football field at a high level. It's going to take time to continue to put on weight, because he needs to put on a lot more weight to play tight end. It's going to take time for him just, again, to completely get back to that level of football that he was playing just about a year ago. So Carter Nelson, he's really behind. A lot of these tight ends are playing really good ball, whether that's Luke Lindenmeyer, Heinrich, Haarberg, Mac Markway is going to be completely healthy at that point in time. I just think with how good this tight end room is projected to be, and with all these injury concerns around Carter Nelson, again, that's only if he comes back on time. I think they're just going to say, hey, we're not going to risk it with your hip injury. It's not something we want to mess with when it comes to a tight end. I think that he will be redshirted in 2025, and then we'll look towards 2026. So I could be wrong here. It just depends on how his body responds, of course, to the rehab. Again, just hip injuries are super questionable. Super questionable. They ruin careers. So we will see what happens. But I don't really think we need him. I feel good about the tight end room as it stands. Luke Lindenmeyer, man, he's been looking good so far. He looked great in spring ball. I believe in Haarberg in a limited role. I think Mac Markway is going to be solid. So, and also should be noted that we don't utilize tight ends as much as we did under Satterfield. We're not going to utilize them that much with Dana Holgorsen. So that's the unfortunate update around Carter Nelson. Best case scenario, and this is literally if everything goes right, he's back at maybe the beginning of fall ball. That's best case scenario. Worst case scenario, he's not back till midway in the year, and then at that point, you might as well shut him down, because there's just no point in bringing him back in week 7 when he's just not ready to go, when he's just getting back in the football field. So that's the update around Carter Nelson. We'll see what happens there. I hope I'm wrong. I think he won't play this year, but to be honest with you, I don't think we need him. It's not that big of a loss, and hopefully he can get his body right for a big 2026 campaign. Then I want to talk about a couple other guys who have been rehabbing, where they stand with Nebraska. I want to talk about a guy who you're going to want to pencil down potentially as a starter. We'll get to him as the video progresses, but that is not Demitrius Bell. We'll talk about the starter again as the video progresses, but Demitrius Bell, He has been rehabbing very, very well. I can firmly tell you that he is 100% healthy when I released this video. Again, it was purely precautionary that they didn't play him in spring practice. Of course, he got banged up in the spring game from last year, tore his ACL, was rehabbing all throughout fall. He's a little bit behind on his rehab, so that's why he was out for spring practice this year. But Demitrius Bell, he is 100% healthy. His mobility is back to where it was before his injury, and he's going to be mixed right away in fall camp to potentially compete to start. So listen, I'm really hyped up about Demitrius Bell. I've heard a lot of great things. He was Jacory Barney before Jacory Barney. He was out playing Barney all of spring ball last year before his injury. He was in the starting lineup all spring ball before injury. Feel great about his future, and he's a guy that Dana Holgorsen is going to absolutely love to utilize. So Demitrius Bell, 100% healthy. He's been working this summer, and he's going to be ready to go in fall ball. He's going to surprise a lot of people. So buy your Demitrius Bell stock, but he's healthy. Teddy Prochazka is somebody who I want to talk about as a potential starter because the coaching staff, I think the coaching staff, they're a lot higher on Teddy Prochazka than the fan base. And of course, Teddy Prochazka has dealt with injuries after injuries throughout his career. He's 6'10". There's reasons why 6'10" tackles aren't in the NFL. It's because their lower body is really, really weak and their center of gravity is not very good. So you have a lot of knee injuries, a lot of ankle injuries. He, of course, tore his ACL in fall camp of last year. But there has been a lot of murmurs within the building that this man, Teddy Prochazka, could be your starting right tackle over Gunnar Gottula, over Turner Corcoran. And I will say this about Teddy. It's not like when he's on the field, he's a bad player. Because when he has been on the field for Nebraska, he's been really solid. Is he an all Big Ten caliber tackle? No, he's not. But I believe that if he's completely healthy, he can beat out Gunnar Gottula. I believe he can absolutely beat out Turner Corcoran. Like, it's just a matter of him staying healthy. Okay, it's different than like the Turner Corcoran situation. Turner Corcoran is always injured and he's terrible when he's on the field. Teddy Prochazka, he's always injured, and that's a huge red flag. But when he's on the field, he actually plays serviceable. So I saw that say this. He looks like he's pretty much almost healthy. He'll be healthy going into the fall. There's a lot of expectation inside that building that he's going to be the starting right tackle when it's all said and done going into week 1 versus Cincinnati. So I would start to pencil that down if I were you. The staff likes Gunnar Gottula, but Teddy Prochazka, I like his veteran presence. And again, he's played good football when he's healthy. The problem is he's just never healthy. A couple other guys I want to talk about. Again, Dawson Merritt, I project him to be redshirted. Of course, this was a guy that a lot of people had expectations about potentially starting as a true freshman, but he had that shoulder surgery right after his senior year of high school. So unfortunately for Dawson Merritt, he was out all of spring ball. He really wasn't in the weight room as much as he probably should have been because of, that shoulder injury really hurting his gain. So again, he's probably not at that weight that we want him to be. I think that Dawson Merritt will probably be redshirted this season, but you feel good about his outlook on 2026. Two other guys who have been injured. Jameer Khan is somebody who I'm looking out for, who the coaching staff, they loved him coming in, of course, from Southern Illinois. He had, I believe, another shoulder injury. He was balling out in winter conditioning, but got banged up right at the very end. It was out of all of spring ball. But Jameer Khan, this is somebody who I would watch out to start. He's going to be 100% healthy going into the fall. And then one last guy who I would watch out for, this is Jalyn George. So again, he was projected potentially start after winter conditioning, but banged up his lower body. He has not developed or has not progressed as well as the coaching staff they would want him to. I think he's a little bit behind, so we'll see if he's healthy 100% going into the fall. But Jalyn George, somebody who the coaching staff really likes, like his athletic upside, would watch out for that, but that's a lower body injury. So, all right, wanted to give you guys those quick updates going over every single Nebraska Cornhusker who's injured. Those are really the main ones that I can think of. Other than that, I think the team's going to be pretty much healthy going into the fall. Excited about this year, man, but hopefully we stay healthy all throughout the summer, all throughout fall camp, and we give the fans the best product that we can possibly give them. So, all right, guys, let me know your thoughts down below. Hey, if you made this far in the video, you know what to do. Hit that like button and subscribe. I absolutely want to hear your thoughts. Go be Greg. Go on my roll. See you in the next one.